Hello world, the next planet is Benzaitengoku, unless Hoyoverse is pulling an elation-worthy prank on us all. Most of our information on it comes from the IPC broadcast unlocked after the 3.7 story. Short version, it used to be a canvas brought to life with IPC technology. Its inhabitants made out of Imagini. This might be tangible imagination as Memoria is tangible memory. The IPC scheme to rebuild the planet is the World's Reborn Initiative. It, or at least the Benzaitengoku specific part, is overseen by Stoneheart Pearl, who has received the title Dai Kokuto for her efforts. Kokuto means governor and Dai means great or important, so this checks out. Pearl was present in the Iron Tomb War Council, but the only one we didn't see in-game. The third current phase of the initiative is artistic innovation to drive cultural growth. Perhaps by design this overlaps with the Lunament Festival, a celebration started by Aha themselves. Splitting the planet's name in two, Tengoku means heaven, while Benzai seems to be Benzaiten, which is the Japanese god of eloquence, wisdom and the arts, and the Hindu goddess Saraswati, with dominion over the same things. Pearl's title could also reference Dai Kokoten, the Japanese god of wealth, fitting for a Stoneheart, and the Hindu god of destruction Shiva, something to keep in mind. Anyway, put the name together and the planet seems to be a paradise for art and culture even before recent developments. But now we can look at a 2.7 occurrence, First Battle of the Shopping Street. It's about a staring contest held in the heavenly kingdom of eloquence. If you look at how this is spelled in Chinese and read the Chinese transcript for the broadcast, they're the same. Perhaps anything can be an art form here, like how anything can be a game in early Yu-Gi-Oh! This planar set tells us about everyday life here. Virtual or mixed reality seems to be the law of the land, i.e. digital spaces mixed with reality, making this our most sci-fi setting yet. The story is about a popular streamer's identity being stolen and her parasocial fans and haters' reactions to it. The streamer in the Sphere's art looks much like Sparkle and shares her colour scheme, though with hearts in her eyes instead of butterflies and a heart tattoo on her cheek. This could just be another of her personalities. The streamer's name, Hanami, is very close to her Japanese name, Hanabi, or simply a sign they're from the same planet. Assuming imaginary people can leave Tengoku, maybe Sparkle can shapeshift because she's made from imagination. The rope has play buttons and glowstick accessories, hinting the planet is big on idol culture and Hanami is one. It'll explain why her fans are obsessed with her at least. Another Sparkle connection is Voice of 873 being the account posting Hanami's status updates. Sparkle pretended to be the fake genius 888 in the Cosmodesy event, and first told us about Euphorius, funnily enough. Big thanks to Venpasa from Discord for the last paragraph's worth of content and the occurrence info. The rope also ends with a mascot character holding a pill. Idle life can be pretty stressful, you know. The Stelron hunters are all but guaranteed after skipping Amphoria's safer cameos, and we learned more about finality. This would be a great time for another Q&A with Kafka, while Silverwolf would be a good fit for a high-tech planet. The IPC broadcast also mentioned her. She also asked about meeting the Express at their next location in the recent Myriad Celestia. Maybe Elio too? We heard him at the end of Penacony and saw the Stelron cat do weird stuff in that trailer. The Amphoria script was attributed to Cyrene, so he could be back to write this one. Sparkle said the Trailblazers would be important to her, so she's confirmed. This would also be a good time to learn more about Sampo, and maybe get a 5-star form with his mask. Sparkle's present might mean Vita too, to complete the HI3 crossover. Next are the Galaxy Rangers. Boothill mentioned his boss to Sparkle in the aforementioned conversation. Meta-wise, this could mean both are relevant to Tengoku. Rapper would mesh great with high-tech Japan, for instance. Maybe there's a specific reason Sparkle chose to impersonate her. Then the IPC. Aventurine was joined by Jade and Topaz and Penacony, and a bunch of Stonehearts have VAs, so some will likely come to help or hinder Pearl later on. Related to them, at the start of 3.7, Aventurine and Jade ask Fu Xuan for the Xianzhou's help with a number of planets affected by the elation. My first thought was Fei Xiao, since she fights a lot, but Yao Guang has been heard twice now, so perhaps she and the Yu Chui will show up instead. Her name references Yin and Yang, which will be relevant in the possible plot section, and it's fitting that a call to Fu Xuan for help would result in her mentor showing up. To end with someone I don't think will be here, Black Swan. 3.8 goes back to Penacony and an implied cremator she made a deal with. She also got what she wanted from the Express and isn't considered a crew member in Currency Wars when Sunday is. She wasn't in Nameless Faces either. I believe she'll leave in the next patch and maybe return when the Garden next acts up. Sorry Amphoria's haters, I've got more flame chasers for you. First, Grisio. She's a painter and can materialize her art in the virtual Elysian realm. That's a great fit for the art and tech mix of Tengoku. Her adult self is Star Wars homage, so sci-fi is already baked into her. Then Sakura, likely the flame chaser version because we know more about her. The achievement for seeing the Sparkle cutscene includes the word Sakura if that means anything. Look up her sister, Reen, and you'll know she'll fit right in with HSR's love of heartwarming stories. The sisters are also the only Japanese characters characters in HI3 besides May. This is a massive stretch, but Dr. May is another option. A big shot scientist, maybe the one who made Tengoku real, makes sense to have, and she might even help Amphorius, reuniting her with HSR's Kevin. Tengoku might be a literal painting turned into a planet. The IPC and geniuses likely didn't suggest using its tech for Amphorius because it wouldn't work, but I'd like if the Express kids pushed to go there because they have ties to it and want to try anything they can to help. It would be a good change to make them proactive about the next destination for once. With cultures mixing and the parasocial stuff implied by the planar, I think the story will borrow from Metaphor Re Fantasio. There's going to be a competition with the reward possibly being access to Tengoku's tech or the right to choose how it's used, which the Trailblazer will use on Amphorius. Or they'll just use Tengoku's art to tell more people about it. This is based on Hoya using Atlas-adjacent games as inspiration for Penacony and Amphorius, though I can't prove the latter. Going off the Planar's description, I think other themes will be escapism, which might overlap with Penacony, and gift, or just the dangers of the internet, such as misinformation and anonymity in general. I'm divided on whether Asat Pramad will be here. Elation will definitely be a focus, but we've just had an entire year devoted to beating a Ravager. I don't mind myself, but I suspect Hoya will choose either the Express wants to help Amphorius or the Express will fight Asat Pramad, but not both, lest Tengoku feel too much like a direct sequel. It's interesting that Aha and Asat have similar MOs though, small actions for big effects. Asat also seems to be a mourning actor, with a name meaning no intoxication in Sanskrit, which brings the possible Hindu influence on Tengoku to mind again. But keep in mind Hoyo isn't afraid to play the long game with their VAs. Black Swan and Sam debuted in 2.0, yet had VAs since 1.0 and 1.2 respectively. They'd have no issues making Asat's VA sit on their hands for a year. A Reddit post I'll link below suggests Nihility would be explored too, because of finality. I doubt Hoya will do another 3-part story so soon, but Nihility could be a good contrast to Elation, because both represent different kinds of nihilism. It would also get Akron into the story, either as the other Japanese Honkai XP or an honorary Galaxy Ranger. By the way, unless the Express crew is trapped in Tengoku as they were in Amphorius, there's nothing stopping them from leaving, so we might get continuances on other planets. For example, one on Belobog with the Crisis Sampo's head was coming for them. I'm sure there's more I've forgotten, but let's leave it there. I want to get this out before the 3.8 livestream and TGA double combo of Tengoku trailers to see how I did. Wish me luck and remember to keep leaks out of the comments. Thanks for watching. Please like if you did, comment your thoughts and consider subscribing for more. We also have a Patreon and YouTube memberships if you want to support me further. Take care and have a great day.